Welcome to our video. We are glad that you're joining us today. We're going to talk about making mistakes, and we're also going to talk about your reaction to making mistakes. You're going to watch some videos, you're going to play some games, and you're also going to win some prizes for playing. We're going to talk about making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. As you can see here, even cats make mistakes. Sometimes people feel like they're the only ones who make mistakes. But in reality, everybody makes mistakes. Kids make mistakes, adults make mistakes, teachers make mistakes, our parents make mistakes, and even our pets make mistakes. Now let's watch some bloopers or mistakes that cartoon characters made.
I see you watching and I know what you want. Oh, takes!
Action!
Ah!
Go! Can you see my eyes?
Ah! You're better than this!
All of my bones hurt.
Perfect! Ow! My face! My beak! My face beak! Why can't birds see glass?
Okay, I think we got it.
Oh, okay, great. I'll be in my trailer.
Pigeon Toady, ready for the role of Pigeon Toady?
The line is all good, bro.
All good, Brahmalama Ting Tong. What up, Pigeon Butt? All good, Napoleon Bonaparte. Wolfgang Amadeus Brozart. Vincent Van Bro. Abraham Lincoln. Brosidon. King of the Broshun. Bro Rock. Bro Obama. Game of Brones. You know. Bro, 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 bro. Nailed that.
It tastes like daffodils. First thing that came to my head. It tastes like happiness. Good one. He's making me nervous. Just flower. I don't know.
Say honey and
it's
dreams.
It's my riffing.
Honey and dreams.
I'm not gonna say. It tastes like honey and dreams.
But don't do it like that.
It tastes like lollipops.
If you're setting up on that shot, like
Right.
you were going to swing and
Great.
then you just break.
Are you sure about this?
Don't worry about me.
All right. 4! Just like on the golf course.
Put down that baby. Put down that. Down that baby. Put down that baby. And in the end, we were all best friends.
No, man, I will not be your friend.
We just watched cartoon characters make mistakes. Now let's watch some professional athletes make mistakes.
Another Casino, straight into the, oh my goodness me, how he's managed to hold tight with the right hand and manage to grasp the bar again to continue. The reaction of his teammate.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh, Tomaszewski and his are out. And that was a very...
Catch skills led to a difficulty score of 6 point.
Backhand spring layout, 2
Gotta
feet.
hold on to it.
Oh, wow.
Suddenly, her hands slip. Steps in and catches her a split second before she hits the mat head first. Look at that amazing save.
Yay!
We just watched some professional athletes make mistakes. Now let's watch some videos of pets making mistakes. We make mistakes everywhere. We make mistakes at school. We make mistakes at home. We make mistakes on the playground. We make mistakes when we're eating. We make mistakes when we're playing games. We even make mistakes when we're walking. We all make mistakes everywhere and all the time. When do you make mistakes? In your journal, write down one time you can remember making a mistake. How did you feel when you made the mistake? What did you tell yourself, or what did you think when you made the mistake? What did other people do when you made the mistake? You can pause the video now and write down your answers in your journal. Nobody likes making mistakes, but some kids really don't like making mistakes. Kids who don't like making mistakes sometimes set their own rules. They might say things like, "I'll only play a game if I know I will win." Kids who don't like making mistakes might blame others for their mistakes. They might say something like, "It's your fault that I lost." Kids who have trouble making mistakes might say unhelpful things about themselves. They might say something like, "I'm no good." Kids who have trouble making mistakes might make projects too complicated because they want to do them perfectly. Kids who have trouble making mistakes might wait to do things until the last minute because they are afraid what they do won't be good enough. They might say something like, "I'll do it later." Kids who have trouble making mistakes might pay more attention to their mistakes than things they did well. They might say something like, "That mistake ruined everything." Kids who have trouble making mistakes might give up without really ever trying. They might say something like, "I'm never going to be good at this, forget it." Do any of these things sound like you? If so, you may have trouble making mistakes. You're doing a great job. Because you're doing such a great job, you should pick out a prize from the prize box. You played a game earlier today where you had to shoot aliens and save astronauts. During that game, did you make any mistakes? If you did, how did you feel when you made those mistakes? What did you tell yourself, or what did you think when you made those mistakes? You can pause the video and take a few minutes to write down your answers in your journal. People tell themselves different things about making mistakes. Sometimes when people make mistakes, they tell themselves some things. Sometimes they tell themselves, mistakes are bad. Sometimes they tell themselves, I am bad for making mistakes. They might even say, I always make mistakes. Or, I'm dumb. Sometimes people say, I should never make mistakes. Other people say, I should be perfect. Other people say, I hate making mistakes. And then last, some people say, I will get in trouble for making mistakes. Look back at your journal. Did you tell yourself any of these things when you made mistakes? Look at what you wrote and circle if you wrote anything like any of these things. Did you write anything like, mistakes are bad, I am bad for making mistakes, I always make mistakes, I'm dumb, I should never make mistakes, I should be perfect, I hate making mistakes, or I will get in trouble for making mistakes? You can pause the video now and circle which answers that were like these that you made. These negative or mean statements are things the mistake bully likes to say. So for example, the mistake bully likes to say things like, mistakes are bad. If you make mistakes, you're dumb. You should be perfect. Do you think sometimes that you have a mistake bully in your head? Sometimes when people make mistakes, they tell themselves other things. They say things like, mistakes are a chance to learn. It's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Making mistakes means that I am challenging myself. It's okay not to be perfect. Mistakes can be funny. I can laugh at my mistakes. Look back at your journal. Did you tell yourself any of these things when you made mistakes? If you did, put a star next to these things in your journal. Did you tell yourself something like, mistakes are a chance to learn. It's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Making mistakes means that I am challenging myself. It's okay not to be perfect. Mistakes can be funny. I can laugh at my mistakes. Go ahead and pause the video right now and put a star anywhere near a statement you made that was like these. These positive or helpful statements are things the mistake buddy likes to say. So for example, the mistake buddy likes to say things like, it's okay to make mistakes, everybody makes mistakes, and mistakes are a chance to learn. Do you think that sometimes you have a mistake buddy in your head? So, the mistake bully likes to say things like, you're bad if you make mistakes. And the mistake buddy likes to say things like, it's okay to make mistakes. Which one do you think is more helpful? Do you think the mistake bully is more helpful? Or do you think the mistake buddy is more helpful? Write down what you think in your journal. If you said you think the mistake buddy is more helpful than the mistake bully, you were correct. The mistake buddy is more helpful. The mistake bully will often say mean things, and we actually end up doing worse. The mistake buddy reminds us that mistakes are okay and they're a chance to learn, so we often do better. The next time your mistake bully is saying mean things to you, you can stand up to your mistake bully. You can say things like, it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are a chance to learn, and everybody makes mistakes. You're doing a great job. Because you're doing such a great job, you should pick out a prize from the prize box. We just talked about thoughts you have when you make mistakes. Now, let's talk about how mistakes feel in your body. When some people make mistakes, they feel their face turn red, their face gets hot, their heart pounds, they have a stomach ache, they get sweaty hands, they feel like they're breathing too hard or too fast, they get a headache, they have tight fists, or they feel shaky. How does your body feel when you make mistakes? Write this in your journal now. Based on your body's reactions to mistakes, which of the following emotions do you think you have when you make mistakes? Do you feel worried, anxious, afraid, guilty, frustrated, angry, sad, or embarrassed? Pick which ones in your journal now. Now that you know how you feel when you make mistakes, it is your job to notice those feelings and challenge your thoughts. Remember to talk back to your mistake bully. Whenever you are doing anything, you are in one of three zones. There is the comfort zone in green, the challenge zone in orange, and the crisis zone in red. When you are in your comfort zone in green, you are doing something that is very easy for you. You probably feel bored. This may be like playing a game that you used to play when you were younger. What is something that is in your comfort zone? Something that is very easy for you to do. You can write that in your journal now. How many mistakes do you think you make when you are in your comfort zone? Do you think you make very few mistakes? Do you think that you make some mistakes? Or do you think that you make a lot of mistakes? Circle one in your journal now. Usually people say that when they're in their comfort zone, they make very few mistakes. That is because they're doing something that is very easy for them. When you are in the comfort zone, how much do you think you learn, or how much do you think you get better at something when you are in the comfort zone? Do you think you learn a very little amount? Do you think you learn a medium amount, or do you think you learn a lot? Circle one in your journal now. Usually, people say that when they're in their comfort zone, they learn very little. This is because they are doing something that they already know how to do. For example, if you are a master at counting up to 10 out loud, when you do this, you probably don't make any mistakes, but you also don't get any better at it. So, when you're in your comfort zone, you are not making many mistakes, but you are also not getting any better or learning anything. Now, let's talk about the crisis zone. The opposite of the comfort zone is the crisis zone, in red. When you are in the crisis zone, you are doing something that is too hard or too difficult. It is so hard that you can't learn. For example, if I made you the pilot of a plane right now and I told you to fly without any instructions, this would probably be too hard and you wouldn't be able to learn. This would be the crisis zone. In the crisis zone, people make a lot of mistakes and they don't learn or improve because it is too hard. Now, let's talk about the challenge zone. The challenge zone, in orange, is when you are doing something that is a little bit difficult, but not something that you are bored doing. When you are in your challenge zone, how many mistakes do you think that you make? Do you think you make very few mistakes? Do you think you make some mistakes, or do you think you make a lot of mistakes? Circle one in your journal now. Usually, people say that when they are in their challenge zone, they make some mistakes or they make a lot of mistakes. When you are in the challenge zone, how much do you think you learn, or how much do you think you get better at something when you are in the challenge zone? Do you think you learn very little? Do you think you learn a medium amount? Or do you think you learn a lot? Circle one in your journal now. Usually, people learn a lot or get better at something when they are in the challenge zone. This is because they are doing something that they can learn to get better at. They are allowing themselves to make mistakes so that they can learn from them. In the challenge zone, you make many mistakes and you learn from those mistakes, so you get better. Even though mistakes sometimes make us feel bad, mistakes are how we learn. So, when you make mistakes, you can tell yourself that you must be in the challenge zone and you must be learning or getting better. To sum it all up, mistakes can be funny, everybody makes mistakes, and mistakes are a chance to learn or get better. Remember to stand up to your mistake bully. You can tell your mistake bully it's okay to make mistakes, or you can tell your mistake bully making mistakes means that I'm in my challenge zone. Thank you for listening. You did a great job.